Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are back with another brand new Cretaceous Creations release. We recently had taken a look at their D-Rex. Well, we've got the other mutant creature from Jurassic World Rebirth. As you can see, we've got our very first Mutadon figure. So far, from what I've seen, nobody has made one of these, so it's definitely really cool to see one released by Cretaceous Creations, and it looks super cool. So what we're going to do is pop it off of the base here for a moment, and then we'll bring it in for a closer look. Actually, I'll probably readjust the camera so we can do that a little easier. So bringing it in, taking a closer look here at the head sculpt, you can see the head sculpt does look really cool. Definitely has the overall look and feel of the Mutadon, which is definitely nice to see. We've got the nostrils sculpted out up there. We have a darker tone there around the eye, kind of like some creasing in the eye area, a yellow for the eye, and then we have a nice bluish tone that moves over the top of the figure, and you can see it kind of leak down into the face a little bit. We also have a lighter tone, kind of like a light gray for the lower half of the figure. The mouth is sculpted in an open position, which we can very clearly see. I like that we've added some little bits of realism to the inside of the mouth with like a, a pinkish tone first of all, but a reddish wash, and you can even see some extra fine detail there to the inside on the upper side of the mouth, which looks really cool. But the red wash that they've very nicely applied to the inside of the mouth looks great. Again, with the mouth being wide open, we've got all sorts of teeth all over the place. They do have a nice genuine sharp look to them. They are painted with a bright white tone, and they do have a bit of a satin shine, which is also nice to see. And again, like if you look here at these very, very large teeth on the lower jaw, they definitely have a nice sharp look to them right there. You can really see that they look quite genuine overall, but as you move through the figure, we do still have that very cool Cretaceous Creations style as far as the sculpt goes, which is awesome. Moving back, you do have some more blue kind of trailing down here into the very large throat of the figure. Also, we actually have that kind of beak-like look up here, which I actually did not mention a moment ago, and I should have, but again, that's definitely something that you would want to see for a Mutadon. But as you lead back, again, you also see that same sort of like blue trailing off on this side. We could see some creasing in the neck, some osteoderms and stuff popping up here and there. You have kind of like some scoots moving down along the spinal column as well. As you lead down, we do have the wings sculpted out on the figure. They are kind of held into the body a little bit. We have some scoots down the fingers, which look really good, and then the claws held kind of to the inside of the wing that my camera is not really going to pick up on too well. You can see them over there kind of. Basically, they're there. They're just hard to see. They're painted with a black and do look good, but they're held like into the inside of the wing, so it's kind of hard to really see them. But as you move back, you've got the skin here of the wings. You can see a little bit of creasing there because the wings are held close into the body. A few osteoderms as you move down through the arm. And then we lead out into the tail, and you have kind of like that, sort of like the spinal column shown off here on the top of the tail as you lead out. A little bit of a curve, as well as some osteoderms leading out along the tail. We continue to have the blue kind of leading down, and then the light gray for the underside. As you lead back, you've got more of the blue kind of leading down into the legs, and again, more of the blue striping down the legs. You've got a few more trailing osteoderms as you move down through the legs, and leading into the feet, we've got some scoots down the toes. You can obviously see that the Mutadon is in a walking pose, as the foot is kind of picking up off of the ground as it's walking along. Basically, just the toes are touching at this point. We have the claws sculpted out again, the nails painted with a black, and we can obviously see that sickle claw right there. We do also have the dew claws, and then we lead back up. You've got that enlarged throat right there. If we turn the figure around, take a look at the opposing side, one thing you'll definitely notice is the fact that the head is kind of turned away from us on this side, so you do have that going on as far as a little bit of difference, but you'll also see that the leg is kind of taking a step forward as the Mutadon is sort of sneaking along, which is very cool to see. Again, the scoots down the toes, you've got the claws and everything sculpted out, again painted with that blackish tone. You can now see the dew claw over there, and you can kind of sneak peek a little bit of the leg right there, but it's kind of hard to see because it is hidden, and so nicely nestled up there under the wing. But it is definitely a really, really cool looking figure, no doubt about that. And then we do also have a base, just like we had with the Distortus Rex, but this time we just have a gray for the base, and obviously the similar style of base with the kind of cracks and everything, basically looking like rock or concrete or something that's been sort of broken with the creatures on it. And then on the underside, you again have Cretaceous Creations, and you can also see the Mutadon title over here. But definitely a really cool base, and of course, we can get our very cool figure back on the base here. I may have not had it on correctly the first time around. It's always hard to see where the peg holes are. So obviously that's where, there it is. So that's how you connect it to the base. Obviously you have to line up the peg holes with the pegs, and then once you get it on there, it stands quite nicely. So let's go ahead and readjust the camera. We'll get a size for our Mutadon. Lengthwise, you're looking at about 5 1/4 inches roughly, maybe slightly under that, or a little over 13 centimeters. And then for a height, the highest point would be the top of the snout, a little bit over 2.5 inches, or pretty much 6.5 centimeters on the dot. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect Day Human Being, next to our very cool Mutadon figure. And you can see, again, this one is a bit smaller than the D-Rex was, and that's kind of to be expected considering the species. We've also got a comparison with the D-Rex and the Mutadon here next to each other, showing you again the good bit of size difference that we have between the two, but boy do they ever look super cool next to each other. And I think the best comparison I could probably give you as far as this figure goes is with another Velociraptor that we have from the Mattel line, because there are no other Mutadon figures out at all so far. So I don't really have any other to compare with this one, but if you are a Jurassic collector, you probably have a Mattel Velociraptor in your collection, so I think this comparison should maybe be the most helpful. So this brand new Cretaceous Creations Jurassic World Rebirth Mutadon figure is absolutely epic, and by far one of the coolest figures in their line, which is saying something because they've got some really cool ones for sure. But the fact that it is a Mutadon is so cool because nobody else has made one yet, so it's nice that they get to take the credit for the very first Mutadon figure to not only arrive on my channel, but that I have seen, period. So definitely some huge props to them for that. The sculpt on this again has that very cool kind of animated look and feel, which is pretty much like their style. I definitely like that, but they've done a very good job overall on this, especially when it comes to the colors. Very striking colors that they've given it with those nice bluish tones and the light underside and everything. But I also like the fact that they've added a little bit of realism with extra coloration to the inside of the mouth, like a pink and a nice reddish wash and everything, which does look really cool. It's also got a really fun pose, definitely the type of pose you would expect to see from one of these guys, because again, it's got like that sort of like roaring look, or maybe it's coming in for a bite. Definitely looks like it's in the process of moving, as they are running quite a bit in the film. If you have not seen it quite yet, they're very active, and overall definitely replicates what I would expect to see from a Mutadon very nicely. So without a doubt, this is a super cool release from them, and absolutely a figure that I recommend picking up. So if you are interested, I will include a link in the description to where you can purchase this on their eBay shop. So make sure you check that link, definitely pick this up, and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.